Today I spent another 100 days in No Man's Sky, totaling of 300 days so far. If you haven't seen the first 100 days and the 200 days, watch it first. Linky below. So get ready for more epic space battles, underwater exploration and the reset of the simulation. It's going to be a long ride. Now without further interruptions, leave a like and a sub, and I spent another 100 days in No Man's Sky. On the first day back, which is the 201, I started by harvesting my plants from my completely legal farm. I want to see how many units it makes, as I need units to buy a new freighter. After I gathered the completely legal plants, I ended up with just 56 of them, totaling just over 2.6 mil. This is going to take forever. So I had the bright idea to expand my farm a little bit, but there comes a lot of problems with that decision, as I didn't have any Fecium to plant the plants, and I didn't have enough material to construct the hydroponic trays. I needed 24 trays, which is like 96 metal platings, which is like 5000 fairy dust, and about 600 Fecium. You get the idea. Anyway, I went to farm. After getting all the materials, and a few hours later, I finally finished the farm, although there is another problem. I didn't count on the energy consumption of the new trays, so I had to improve my energy production. I was really hoping that the materials I need are there in the storage, as I'm tired of farming already. And they were. So I built more electromagnetic generators and my power problem was over. With all the plants planted, I was finally finished with the expansion of the farm. All I had to do now is wait for the plants to grow and see the profit. So I closed the doors and went on to do more chores, like defending my settlement, started construction of buildings, and completed a plant quest to top it off. Once I returned to base, I came to a conclusion that I want to retire from farming. And I knew exactly what I had to do. The next day I woke up and I was excited to see how my plants are doing. I didn't waste no time and started collecting the grown plants. My excitement came to an end when I gathered all the plants, and upon selling them I would only get 5.3 mil for the ones I've collected today. I should start thinking more before having bright ideas. So I had the bright idea to expand my farm a little bit. At first I thought it was just the galactic trade terminal giving me bad prices, but I also visited the trading post and also the outlaw station, which gave me the worst prices of them all. I mean, 17k for a plant, really bro? The realization hit me. The effort of building and farming materials for the farm, and the effort to collect them. I knew this would take way too long to actually save up enough money for a new freighter. Hear me out? They take about 8 days to grow. Anyway, I needed a new way to save up about 100 million units for a new freighter. It's when I had another bright idea. Not again, please. Instead of farming plants, I decided to set up farms for precious materials like cadmium, emerald, iridium and others. This would also help me with my farming retirement I'm so looking forward to. But what could go wrong, you ask? With me, everything. Anyway, my journey started by installing the emerald drive and iridium drive so that I can visit green and blue stellar bodies for the rare materials that are going to make me rich one day. But first I had to visit the red stellar planet and gather some cadmium in order to install the emerald drive. I found a planet that had cadmium deposits and went to explore and gather. I found a cadmium deposit and gathered the resources, which then gave me an idea to set up my first farm, a cadmium farm. I then used my mineral survey mode for hours and found a bunch of different deposits. Eventually discovered a hotspot for cadmium. Now the easy task, to set up the farm. Right. I claimed the base near the deposit and was 100% confident that I have the right mining unit. Well, I was wrong because I spent the next hour trying to figure it out, how to build this. Quick stop at the anomaly and I discovered I don't have the right mining unit because I need something called mineral extractor. So I bought all the recipes I needed and got distracted on the way by a distress signal, where I got a couple of broken ships, which I'll show you guys later. They take super long to repair and I wasn't in the mood to farm more materials. I also met with the red sim symbol again and had a FaceTime with Noel, and off I went to set my first farm. I started by flattening the ground and finding the highest density percentage of the deposit. Yes, I know this is ammonia deposit, as I teleported to the wrong site and started building, so my first farm is ammonia farm. I placed my first mineral extractor and built a supply depot. connected the two with the supply pipe, and I was one step closer to having my first operational farm. But not so fast. No power. I mean, I could use biogenerators or solar panels, but that's too easy. So instead I found an electromagnetic field nearby. But how, if it's so far? Well, I learned this trick in my first 100 days, when I was building my base. As when you reach the edge of your editable base and place the object down, it extends the barrier. Rinse and repeat and you can extend your base. I don't know what the limit is, but it's working. I then built more mineral extractors and mineral depots, and set up a little base with the base teleporter module for quicker access. I spent the longest amount of time connecting everything up, as I had no clue how the pipe system works. I thought it would be similar to the electricity, but it wasn't. I found the best tactic to do a snake connection. One to the other, and last one to the mineral depot. Also, if you want to upgrade the mining rate, I could just pop new mineral extractors at the first one. With everything connected, my first farm was complete. Well, first I need the door button for security. But I couldn't figure it out, as I'm not experienced yet, so door stays open for now. I was happy with the result, and my farm was making 1.6 thousand ammonia in an hour. I have no idea if that's good or bad, but who can say no to free resources? The next day, after successfully opening my first farm, I went crazy and started planning to build more farms. Just thinking of the life after not having to farm seems very nice. I needed a lot of ferrite dust and other materials, as just one of each mining component like mineral extractor, supply depot and electromagnetic generator is about 1000 ferrite dust, 200 chromatic metal and so on. I want to build about 9 or 10 of each, so I need around 10,000 ferrite dust and about 3000 chromatic metal, if not more. I also need a bunch of other materials, but I should have everything, which gave me an idea. I collected a lot of rusted metal during the whole 200 days, and finally came time to use it. But it's going to take you a long time to refine all the rusted metal, no? Well, not for me. Let me show you my new addition to the base, the refiner room. Yes, it does take a long time to get them set up, but over 5 minutes it refines about 14,000 ferrite dust. With what I have in mind next, this will be very useful, even if it does require a lot of maintenance. So, the next farm I built was for rusted metal. The reason why I made it my priority is because hopefully it's going to be one of my last few days of farming materials. Rusted metal, once it's refined, will give you 2 ferrite dust. The ferrite dust can also be refined into many different materials, as well as pure and magnetized ferrite, and ferrite is used everywhere. Metal plating, buildings and other components. So by creating this farm I would minimize the amount I would have to gather in the future. Until I make other farms as well and become retired from buying and farming materials. I then went on a hunt for rusted metal deposits and kept on finding the wrong ones. Like this cobbled one. Really cobbled? I can make you out of thin air. Anyway, I moved on and several survey scans later I found it. Rusted metal. I found the epicenter of the deposit and marked it with the waypoint and started building. I flattened out the farming area, built a little base and started placing down mineral extractors. I then went on to find an electromagnetic hotspot. A bit far, isn't it? But nothing is impossible. I built my way to the hotspot and built the generators. Now the fun part, connecting everything together. Now that I have experience, it didn't take as long and got everything running. Oh yeah, need a picture as well. And my farm was operational, producing 1.8 thousand rusted metal an hour. I built more supply depots, so next time I collect my reward, I'll have 18,000 of rusted metals. That's about 36,000 ferrite dust. I'll never have to gather ferrite dust ever again. The next day I went to collect my rusted metal and refine it, yeah. But it was definitely worth it. Now I have more than 36,000 of ferrite dust and I could build more farms. So I did. I'm not gonna show you the whole process of each farm as they all go up the same way. Find a hotspot, gather required materials, build extractors, build supply depots and connect everything. Done. I will just give you highlights of each farm and what I learned over the next couple of days. So the worst farm to set up was the Edium farm. I was in constant battle with radiation. I had to keep on recharging my shield so I don't become a fry-up. It did teach me one thing. The quick recharge option is better than manually going into your inventory and recharging your shields. I mean, let's compare. My favorite farm is the oxygen farm. No, not because it's S-class deposit. I mean, okay, yeah, it's the S-class deposit that makes this farm the best. This is where I learned that depending on the class of the deposit, it is how high the percentage of each deposit will go. At first I thought it was random, but now I know. It also didn't make any sense why there would be class plus the percentage of each deposit. Yeah, don't question my logic. The Cadian farm was easy to build, but it did take me longer to find the deposit than actually building the farm. A Radom farm? Well, I don't know why I made this farm, but hey. Emerald farm is where my base bugged out and I had to rebuild everything. Yay. Copper farm is where I couldn't find any electromagnetic fields nearby, and I was too lazy to build electromagnetic generators as it was too far. It is also where I thought it might have been easier the whole time to just pop a couple of batteries and a couple of solar panels instead of dreadful journey to build electromagnetic generators. It's sad that I made this farm last, as I went through this process like 6 times and only now I found out it's an overkill anyway. Oh well, what's done is done. Eventually I finished all the farms that I wanted, and it was time to collect the materials. A couple of days later and my storage started looking like this. The next day I woke up and I knew exactly what to do. I had to gather more materials for the next project. Wait, what? Are you hearing yourself, bro? Don't you remember you retired from farming materials? Right, it must have been a bad dream. So the next day I decided to go farm more ships. Bro, really? Farming ships now? This bit is a bit stupid. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I did buy a bunch of distress signal beacons from a cartographer and went to recover abandoned ships. And I have a very good reason why. Well, to be honest, I don't know why at the time, and don't ask me why I didn't think of making money off my farms that I've spent so many days creating. But there is something about finding and repairing ships that caught my interest. With the help of my farms, I had all the materials to repair the ships quickly. Also, it was my dream to finally own an S-class ship, which fueled the drive. Yes, I could have just made easy money and buy a S-class, but at the time I didn't think that way. And also, there is never an easy option with me, so just enjoy the ride. Wait, I thought we saving for a freighter. So, I spent the next couple of days going from distress signal to another distress signal. I found more spaceships. I found more spaceships and helped a bunch of stranded travelers. And helped a bunch of stranded space travelers in their journeys to return home. As per usual, I got other points of interest that I explored for no beneficial purpose whatsoever. I started realizing that I should probably look for something else to do when the only reward I would get is 120 nanites, or I would get scammed as there would be no ship at all. I don't know if you can call me lucky or not, but one of the last distress signals that I've done, I've received this ship. I'm saying this because, yes, it's an S-class ship, but I mean, look at it. I feel like it's not even worth the 20 million price tag. Anyway, it's the first S-class ship that I came in contact with, and no, I'm not gonna use it. After all the hustle, I still wasn't ready to disclose how much I've made from ship farming, as I haven't repaired any of them yet, so stay tuned. I then decided to visit my settlement and was forced to find one of the members of public. Well, hopefully he was guilty. And then I had another pointless fight with corrupted sentinels. I mean, when are they gonna learn? I found another sim symbol, and I still don't know what its purpose is, but they keep giving me weird orbs every time I visit. And who the hell are these guys? With the last sentinel fight that took place, something didn't seem right. I felt like there is someone still trapped. Laylabs? So yes, the Laylabs questline is also known as the Trace of Metal. It is where a drone helps you build a miniature body and upgrade it with weapons and artificial pilot. You are then asked to finally free him and attack the Sentinel Pillar. So that's where we are right now. Laylabs has given me coordinates for the Sentinel Pillar he wants me to attack in order to disconnect him from the Sentinel network. After helping me with the upgrades and everything, I felt like that's the least I can do for him. After landing near the Sentinel Pillar, this happened. What the hell is this? I then said hi to the guards nearby and tried to access the terminal, but auto lockdown was initiated. This meant there was no easy way out and I had to fight the sentinels and destroy the nodes to access the locked terminal. I focused on the small flying drones first as they heal, before finally destroying the big guy. I then destroyed all the nodes, which gave me some loot, and finally was able to access the now unlocked terminal. But something was wrong. There was one more guard still alive. Somewhere. I hunted him down and finally the terminal was open. Laylabs has requested me to do a total severance, so I hacked the terminal and freed him from the hive mind forever. This is where I thought that the questline was bugged for me, as the drone flare item was in my storage at my base and not present with me during the hacking of the terminal. Anyway, this is what the drone would have said if he was present after finally disconnecting him from the Sentinel network. At first I thought the questline just disappeared from my log, but I actually got the title and everything. So not really a bug, but I just spent the next couple of hours trying to figure out if the quest was bugged or not. I even went to find another Sentinel pillar to see if it would work, but never mind. After activating Laylabs, this is the only message I'd get from him. After the shenanigans with the drone quest was done, I went back to base to prepare for the next step. I'll give you a hint. Yes, I had to go farm more salvage data for certain underwater upgrades. The next day I woke up. Well, I don't really know where I woke up, but I went to check Anomaly to see how many salvage data I would need for this project. Yes, the project is underwater base. To unlock hopefully all the required parts, I need about 40 salvage data. I had 13 already, so it wasn't the worst farming journey. After gathering all the salvage data, I went to Anomaly to unlock everything. Well, I didn't unlock everything I needed, and this would cause a massive problem later on. I then went to my already marked planet for my water base, and first thing I've done was found an electromagnetic hotspot, so I don't have to spend hours connecting my base to power source. I don't know why I love electromagnetic generators so much, but I finally found a hotspot right next to this potentially beautiful spot for my base. I mean, look at this cave entrance. And yes, it's right next to an active volcano thing, or whatever this is. I built a base computer, hopefully with no bases registered around, and claimed my base. I started by building a marine shelter, so I don't die from lack of oxygen or toxicity poisoning. I then built a foundation and built a deep water chamber on top. I didn't like the gap between the chamber and the cave, so I rebuilt like 20 times going lower and lower. I built another chamber and tried to connect the two with the glass tunnel, but that wasn't an easy task either. I realized I need more underwater materials, so I gathered some to build my little submarine and went to explore the underwater a little bit and gather some materials. I found this underwater abandoned building where I learned a high power sonar upgrade for my little submarine. I went back to my underwater base with all the materials to continue building, or struggling, however you want to look at it. The problem I had was that I tried to connect two chambers with the glass tunnel, right? Easy, but no, for some reason it didn't work. Well, now I know. I tried everything from building down, building to the sides, to even building up to the surface, to even building a building on a building, but still no result. I knew something was off, so I built a teleporter and hopped into Anomaly to check out the upgrades. I knew it. I missed something. A simple solution. A ladder. I want to cry right now. I spent a bunch of hours trying to fix something that wasn't gonna work anyway. And I have to go gather some more salvage data again, as I didn't have enough. And finally I had the ultimate item, a ladder. I then went back to my base to find another problem. I mean, ship, what are you doing, bro? Really? So the first thing I focused on was to find a better parking place for my ship. I tried underwater parking, but I guess that would never worked. So I just built a platform on top of the surface of the water so that I could put the landing pad on. That way my ship doesn't try to enter the base one way or another. I then went on to focus on finishing my underwater base. I finally utilized the ladders and could build downwards to make a deeper base. I reached the floor beds where I finally started building the base. I built a tunnel and a viewing platform. I built a teleporter, connected the ship landing pad to my underwater base, built 2 rooms, and my underwater base was finished. Let me give you a quick tour. P.S. My base is not really finished yet, but I spent way too long trying to make this stupid base. Enjoy! We start with the landing pad, where my ship is parked. The little decoy house is where the teleporter is, that takes you deep down into the base. This beautiful base comes with 2 rooms, one with the base teleporter and one with storage. Also, I learned something new. Building the storage unit here will link it with the same storage unit you have built somewhere else. I mean, this is the storage from my first base, only if I learned this earlier. This base also comes with a viewing room for the cave. Also access to the cave, but I haven't explored it yet. And to finish off, there is access to the roof where the submarine is located. This concludes the house viewing, and now it's time to explore the deep waters a little bit. I hopped into my submarine and off I went to explore the depths of the seas. I felt excited to be exploring something different rather than the space. I felt like I was playing a water exploration game, like Subnautica. Maybe the next 100 Days project? Leave in the comments if you like to see that. I then used the high power sonar, which can do 4 things. Scan for drowned starships, scan for crashed freighters, scan for sunken buildings, or scan for submerged ruins. Have a good guess what I done for several hours. Yes, I scanned for drowned ships. Just have to get to the first one. Hold on, this water exploring excitement was short-lived. The submarine doesn't travel very fast and the signal is so far away. Yeah, let me just... yeah. And we are here. Speaking to the beacon, I was given an upgrade. And after I claimed the ship, which I took to my base, repaired it and scrapped it for units. I found a couple more ships and done the exact same thing, repaired and scrapped. Eventually I got bored, so I returned into the seas and used the scanner one more time. It was only 6 minutes away this time, and I had to gather some material, so I went with my little submarine. As I was slowly approaching the signal, I came across this weird looking plant, so I decided to collect the bright green plant, only to be ambushed by this big ass fish. I eventually destroyed the fish, but the plant was destroyed in the process, so it was all for nothing. I eventually made it to the sunken wreck of the freighter. I then spoke to the distress signal terminal, which said something about survivors, but I didn't pay much attention to that. So I then searched the archives and was given aquatic construction modules. Wait, what? What was all that farming? For nothing? I can't believe this. Anyway, after my short rage, I shut down the signal and received the modules. I hopped into my ship and went to look for the survivors from across the ocean. I reached another abandoned building that basically said they went for a swim. Great. I got another set of coordinates that were on a different planet, so I hopped over to see what it was hiding. It was just another lost, wrecked freighter. I looted the cargo pods, got some loot and went back to the water planet. I went to gather some more ships, and 8 ships later I came across the submerged ruins. I spoke to this neon light orb thing, which gave me a trident key that I used to open a chest that was buried underground. Inside was this aquatic treasure. No idea what it's for, but I can sell it. I continued to use my scan to find more submerged buildings, and read all the logs of the crew I was previously looking for. Upon reading one of the last logs, I discovered that the submarine was leaking, and they all disappeared. I realized that I will never find who this crew was, or where the remains are. And just like that, I solved the mystery of the depths. I was getting seasick, so I built a portal and headed back to my base on solid ground. This concludes my water adventure. The next day I woke up, I started doing my morning chores. You know what, I don't even know why I'm still collecting these. But hey, at least my storage is gonna look nice once it's full. I also went into my farms to collect all the resources that's clogging the storage units. I then went into a space station to buy some exosuit upgrade shards, as I had 2 problems.
My storage inventory was constantly full, and I also had a bunch of upgrades just laying around that I could use. So I bought 17 of them and went from a drop pod to another drop pod to upgrade my inventory and technology spaces. Exciting, I know. Not much happened during the upgrade farming spree. Just sometimes I'd get scared by the big ass snake planet jumping. I wonder if I can fight him. And how? I actually realized he was there every step of my drop pod farming. Here, 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 and also here. On one of the drop pod locations, I bumped into these weird looking snakes. I don't know what the purpose of them are, but obviously I had to fight them. And it was a mistake. Once I attacked, they spawned about 20 little alien looking things. It was a fierce battle, but they were no match for my upgraded bowcaster. I also learned I can have more than 30 technology upgrades, as there's a little slider for the next row, which I had no idea about. It makes me wonder if that's the case for the inventory spaces too. I finished with the upgrades farming with a cheeky distress signal, which led me to another ship. I then went back to base to install some upgrades. The next day I realized I was running low on tritium, which I think the only way it can be collected is by farming asteroids. I'm also sure that there is another way, but I haven't discovered it yet. Tritium is one of the main materials for crafting freighter-related base buildings. It is also used as fuel for the pulse engine, so it's very important. I then hopped into my ship and went to find the nearest asteroid cluster so I can farm some tritium. The easiest way to farm tritium is to just pew some asteroids. You can also get other materials like gold, silver, and tritium hyperclusters. Tritium hyperclusters basically give you tritium in large chunks. I was farming for a while and started realizing my inventory was getting full. So I paused farming and wanted to see how many tritium I had. I then moved all the materials into my exosuit inventory to continue destroying asteroids, until I found this item. An anomaly detector. Exciting. I had no idea what this item does, and also I had no idea how it got in there. I missed the new item notification, as I was too busy shooting asteroids. Anomaly detector is a single-use beacon that will basically show you near space anomalies. I guess you can also read. Anyway, I couldn't wait to activate it. I wasn't sure if I just discovered a late game item or are you supposed to find this early on, but I was like a little child. So I activated the first beacon. I also had to activate the pulse drive to assist in its search, and off I went, not knowing what's waiting on the other side. My starship was detecting nearby stellar anomalies, and after a few seconds of flying with the pulse drive on, an anomaly was detected, prompting me to exit the pulse drive to examine the anomaly. I didn't know what I just discovered, but I found an iron-bound relic. The relic looks like a giant chest containing something purple inside. So I tried to board it, but that didn't work. I tried to scan it, and I couldn't communicate with it, so the only option was to destroy it. Such a human, destroying a foreign object peacefully floating in space. Well, technically it damaged me first, so it's only self-defense, right? Anyway, upon destroying the relic, I received an unusual theropod core, which is 1525 years old and costs about 1.7 mil. So like an antique. Nice. I don't know what it's for, but I guess units? I also learned this new approach, which I used for the next anomalies that I've encountered. 1. Does it talk? 2. Can I enter it or scan it? Then the last resort, 3. Destroy it for loot. I then used the second anomaly detector that I found and found the relic number 2. Dyson lens. It looks like a space tunnel digging device. Don't ask me why you would need a space digging device. Anyway, I used the 3 steps approach, but it didn't go as planned. Upon destroying the space digging machine, I received some units and a very warm welcome from the fellow space explorers. They even brought a cruise ship. Within 2 seconds of a space battle, and my shield was already damaged. Well, this is gonna be fun. I didn't know what to do first. Either focus damaging the cruise ship or fight the little spaceships first. But considering the big ship had big lasers, I focused the small ships first. I destroyed
ship after ship after ship, and realized that they just keep on coming out from the cruise ship. Change of plans. I started attacking the big boy ship. I then focused and destroyed all the lasers and turrets from the capital ship, and now the defenseless capital ship was no match for my photon cannon. I brought the sentinel ship to 1% and went for the cinematic finish. Once the sentinel ship was destroyed, I received the AI fragment. I had so many questions again, like, what is this? Upon reading the description of the item, I figured it will guide me to a location for a crashed ship of its fleet that got lost once I destroyed the capital ship. You know, since it's an AI, and I destroyed the mainframe. I was very excited because this would mean I would get to claim my first sentinel ship. But I had two other tasks that I wanted to do before heading to the coordinates. I did warp into the system of the sentinel ship, but stumbled upon another freighter defense battle. I had enough of money to buy a new freighter, so I committed to the battle, but my dreams were crushed because it was only a C-class freighter. Sad face. Before embarking on the sentinel ship journey, I had to scrap some of my old ships to empty out the ship slots, as I was keeping all the expensive ships that I found from previous search and rescues. I wanted to do this for a very long time, but repairing and scrapping the ships is a very long process. Also, I think I have developed some sort of hoarding complex and attachment bond with some of the ships, but it was finally time to say goodbye and find out how much I made from all the ships. To even find out if it was worth it after all. I started by summoning my freighter right next to the space station that I will be scrapping my ships to, and it was time for the first ship to be scrapped. Yes, even the S-Class I found earlier. I did get 2 S-Class upgrades modules, so it was worth it. It was very hard to let go of some of the ships that I spent hours searching for and repairing, but the 2 ships that I want to highlight from these distractions are these 2. Personally, I wouldn't have destroyed this one because it reminds me of the Avengers bird ship they had, but just because it's only a C-Class, so it had to go. The next ship that was hard to let go was the twin sister of my current ship, and only because of the sails. I don't know why, but it's just such a nice visual touch for the ships to have animation once you make it into space. But same problem, it's only a C-Class, so it had to go. It's always the space pirates trying to destroy my day, huh? Anyway, this was the last ship. It was the first A-Class that I found, but I didn't really like how it looks either, so to the scrap video. Now it was time to count how much I made. So, let's see. 43 plus 45 plus 47 plus 55 plus 48, 103. Wow, I finally made it plus 100 mil. Just like I would like to pass 1000 subscribers by the end of the year. Is it possible? So if you want to help me out, please leave a sub. Love you. Now, with all the 8 ships scrapped and ship slots available, it was time for me to go and find me a sentinel ship. This is exciting! With 200 million on my account, I was finally ready to head over to the Sentinel Interceptor trace location, hopefully to claim my first sentinel ship. But boy was I wrong, I got more than I asked for. Anyway, I quickly set my GPS location to the signal and departed for an adventure. Eventually I reached the location and struggled to find a parking spot nearby. I managed to land the bird and found the sentinel ship. I had to complete salvage operations in order to purge the sentinel presence, whatever that means, boss. I looted all the items from the ship and found a halide brain. I needed some materials to repair the pilot interface, and since this is the sentinel ship, there's only few places that I will find these items. Sentinel. I used my scanning visor to find the first items and headed to the location of the shards. After gathering the shards, I needed inverted mirror, which you can obtain from this mining looking thing of a sentinel. Instead of it giving me inverted mirror, I was gifted with the echolocator, which I'll do later as I didn't even realize that I've received such an item. I went to find another mining thing and eventually looted the inverted mirror I needed. I don't know how this happened, but once I killed the last sentinel, I was given another dissonance spike. I went to the location and found another sentinel ship.
I eventually realized that instead of the ship, I would have to get 2 ships instead. I struggled to find the brain as I didn't know how, but 1 hour later I realized I have to use the item I looted from the ship. This would lead me into an ancient site where I would restore the archive and harmonize the brain. Yes, exactly, I have no idea what I'm doing. Upon presenting the brain, I would receive a harmonic brain, which I could use for my first starship. I then went back to the Sentinel ship and repaired the pilot interface. I was given an option to either take the free ship or not to take the free ship. 73 million? What? I didn't hesitate and claimed my first Sentinel ship, the first test drive. And I was very impressed. I then flew my new Sentinel ship into another Sentinel ship. Once again, I had to repair the pilot interface, but now I knew what to do, so the process was much smoother. I gathered more shards, killed some Sentinels, and destroyed the mining rig for the inverted mirror. And I was 1 step away from second Sentinel ship. I found the Asian site and restored the archive to receive a harmonized brain again. Easy. I then repaired the pilot interface and claimed my second Sentinel ship, worth of 50 million. That's like making 130 million within a couple of hours. I then realized I looted the Harmonic Echo. Basically it's a location tracing device which shows you a Sentinel points of interest. I think. I then went to sea and found abandoned Sentinel camp. I looted a bunch of scraps and tried to access the multi-tool, but the whole place was under lockdown. So I had to find a way to disable it. Oh look, a terminal. I was given 2 options, to override the glyphs, which I had no clue what they could be yet, and scan memory registers, which gave me some math questions, but I was still clueless. Found this destroyed Sentinel thing, which gave me a bunch of useless numbers, and kept on repeating the same numbers after I fed it some circuits. Weird. Only a couple of years later, I learned that I had to input the glyphs based on the math questions that the terminal was giving me. After inputting the correct glyphs, the lockdown was shut down and I could access everything. So I deactivated the multi-tool and located another dissonance spike. That's a third 50+ million ship. I got more value from these ships in a couple of hours than the whole 300 days. I can't believe this. I then took the Sentinel multi-tool and headed over to the third Sentinel ship. You know the drill. Shards, mirror, brain, and bam, another 73 million ship was claimed. With excitement running through my veins, I left the planet. I went to farm more anomaly detectors to see what kind of cool stuff I could discover. As I was farming asteroids, I managed to become a pirate. I mean, look at this. This guy decided to fly into my shots and then blame me? Really, bro? Eventually I had enough and went home to rest. I woke up the next day and I couldn't believe this journey was coming to an end. I was rapidly running out of days and I still had so much to upgrade, build, gather and see. I still haven't explored anything related to freighters, nor built every base that I wanted to build. But just before this journey ends, I'll do 2 more things. I'm going to see more interesting anomalies and finally reset the simulation, as that was the whole aim for this 100 days. Anyway, with the self-reflection complete and the future plan on the horizon, I decided to go back into space for a final adventure. The last adventure started by me activating another anomaly detector and entering into the pulse drive. It wasn't long before I found this anomaly in the shape of a clock looking thing drifting through space. And it started broadcasting a message. I answered their communication and received a message that is made out of a series of 5 number sequences: 899, 173, 520, 137 and 345. Aren't these some sort of coordinates or something? Or just random numbers? I wonder. Anyway, I closed the communication and tried to destroy it. But that didn't work, and neither did flying into the number station. So I said my goodbyes and left for another anomaly. What the hell is this? A space larva? A asteroid larva? I mean, how? Let me just say that shooting it was a bad idea. I was dealing 0 damage to it and definitely pissed it off. So I tried to ram into it, but that didn't work either, and it was just damaging my spaceship. I then tried shooting its ass, but that didn't work either. Bro, how are you attacking me from backwards, huh?
I guess the best thing was to leave it alone. You know what? It looks like a space Sauron. One last goodbye, and off I went for another anomaly. I can't even say the name. Gaseous sentience? It appears to be a ball of energy. As I got closer, it started broadcasting a message. Ooh, I love messages. It asked me if I was brought here because of the death. No. I closed down the communication and received some nanites. Obviously I tried to destroy it, but to no avail. Some things are better left alone. And off I was to find another anomaly. I need something exciting. Previously I received a space battle and a sentinel ship, and now I'm just getting this? What even is this? It looks like a massive skull. A grave of an ocean king. Ocean? In space? Okay, bro. As I got closer, I received a time-worn bone fragment. Wow, 35,000 years old and made out of pure gold. Yes! It's only worth 110k. Oof. I couldn't do anything else, so I just moved on to find more exciting stuff, like a black hole. Hell yeah, adventure! I let my intrusive thoughts win and entered the black hole. Wait, what? I traveled 800 light years and there is nothing here. Great. Well, might as well try this system for some cool anomalies. And I found a hyperspace navigation station. It broadcasted a message and I received what looks like an Amazon gift card code. Now, all jokes aside, I think it's some sort of coordinates or a portal code. Not knowing what I can do with this information, I left after saying a goodbye. The next anomaly I found was a hazard containment field. That sounds dangerous. As I got closer, I received a message saying that the life forms are stable. Well, what could go wrong? After destroying the containment, I just received some magnetized ferrite. Like, I don't have enough. I was expecting for some fights with the creatures or something. Since there is no fights, I said my goodbyes and moved on to another anomaly. Oh, not you again. Another gift code. Moving on. I ended up finding a space plant. I'm in a stellar intelligence. Apparently too intelligent for me, as I had no idea what this code language means. Well, goodbye plant. The next anomaly is Ironbound relic. Yay. Thanks and goodbye. On to the next. I wanted to see how long I can stay detecting the anomalies, so I stayed in the pulse drive for a long time. I didn't know if there is a limit, but me being impatient, after a long time I decided to come out and see what's up. I found this space nuke looking thing. But no, it was an emergency civilization shelter pod. I wonder if I can destroy it. I'm just kidding, there is only 300,000 people on board. You think I'm a monster? The mission of the pod is fleeing from stellar collapse. Interesting. It didn't reward me with anything for not destroying it, so I just jumped into the next hunt of anomalies. And found... Oh, you again. Thanks for the gift code. Next. Condensed stellar ice. I wonder what I'll get if I destroy it, as I couldn't communicate with the ice. Bro, are you hearing yourself right now? Wait, uranium? What? From ice? Anyway, I decided to warp into a different system that I haven't explored yet, as I still needed a couple more jumps to uncover more glyphs for the Atlas. I used the anomaly detector in each of the systems that I jumped to, but I kept finding the same anomalies like hazard containment field, grave of ocean king, space larvas, and so on. I eventually jumped into a system with Atlas terminal to see how its day has been. I spoke to the terminal only to be mentally harassed with my inner thoughts being like this. When I dream, I see Atlas. When I see Atlas, I am the dream? I mean, I don't even know what this means. I had a further chit-chat with the terminal and received another weird orb. This time it was called Dawn's End. What is this? I used another anomaly detector as I haven't used one in the system and found a secret listening post. I intercepted a message, but before I could read it, I ended up crashing into the station and didn't get a chance. I was upset, so I tried to destroy it, as per usual. I then jumped into another system with the Atlas terminal in it and repeated the process. As this is the 16th jump, I ended up unlocking all the glyphs for the final showdown and received coordinates for the portal terminal. I then went inside the Atlas station and spoke to my favorite creator. Again, having no idea why I'm here or what was said in the conversation, I received another formula. This time it was a photic jade. I went back out to space to hunt for more anomalies and found a jettison storage silo. Once destroyed, I received some radon. Yes, because I very much need more mats. I'm starting to think I was supposed to do this early in the game, as I don't need any of these materials anymore. I then again warped into a system with another Atlas station, contemplating why am I even doing this to myself. And again, I was having conversation with the terminal and I don't know what is going on. I did receive another orb. With the last 4 detectors that I had, I found a rubble of the first spawn, which basically gave me nothing and I couldn't do anything with it. Hashtag worth it. As I was traveling from Atlas station to Atlas station, I had a very hard realization that I'm actually following stations for no reason, as the portal for the quest coordinates was already given to me like 2 hours ago. So I hopped into a space station nearby and traveled back to where the portal terminal actually was. Come on, stay focused! And here I was, in a system of the final interface portal. I found the biggest portal and recharged the glyphs. After the last glyph was recharged, the terminal announced that the Atlas protocol was initiated. So I activated the portal and went into it, not knowing what was going to happen next. Where am I? This planet is sus. I mean, look at the trees. I wasn't really sure why I was here or what I had to do until the 16 countdown started. I was ready. I prepared my shield and accepted my fate. Whatever happens, happens. I tried to gather last resources before the countdown is finished. You know, you never know when you need resources. Then everything went white and I was teleported in front of a big Atlas orb. I had to cry out about 300,000 times while thinking of all that I've achieved and all the people that I've met on this journey, like Artemis, Apollo, Null. And on the 6th cry, Atlas finally answered and told me I'm a traveler? I asked Atlas if there's another way about 10 times, but I guess this is it. So I started the reset of the simulation. I guess. For some reason, I wanted to find out what happens. I had to then walk to the end of the dark platform to look for some orbs. I realized it's asking me to choose between 4 orbs. The first being the rebuilt galaxy, where Atlas created a simulation of its own world, an entire existence. It also wishes to show me its past and the future. Wait, isn't this it? A blue orb being Frozen Galaxy, a green orb being Serene Galaxy, a red orb being a Relentless Galaxy. This was the last decision I'll make in this journey, so I ended up picking the green and resetting the simulation. And this was the end of the 300 days. I'll take this time to thank everyone who made it this far in this video. I hope you enjoyed the 300 days series so far. Yes, I might have 400 days planned, but it's going to be a while before that's done, as I have some other plans. Leave in the comments if I should continue this, and maybe I'll make this happen. Or if I should start something else, maybe? These videos take super long to record, edit and voiceover, so all the support is very much appreciated. As per usual, leave a like and a sub for future content. Get me to 1k subs please! Just kidding, you don't have to, as long as you come back and watch my stuff. This has definitely been one of my favorite games to play, and it's been a massive blast. How long is this thing? I'm running out of stuff to say. Anyway, what an epic end. Wait, where am I? Where's my ship? And what is remembrance? Wait, what? My visor is broken. Wait, everything is broken. You know what? I'm not dealing with this right now. Where's my ship? I can't believe this. I reset the simulation and this is what I get? I can't really. I can't. Really, I can't. I'm just gonna build a teleporter and I'm out of here. Bye.